Hey guys, welcome to Sandbox Playoffs. So, for playoffs here, we're going to do something a little different. Normally we would just showcase the games and sort of just go through them just with like very small little bit of work to it. But I figured for playoffs we'd do something a little different. We'll dive more into the actual coaches and their teams. The team that you have shown in front of me is the team we're going up against. We're going up against MBoss. It's a rematch from main season. So a lot of these Pokemon on screen are probably some are going to be a bit familiar. Just you'll see the teams and like their stats through pretty much all of main season as well. So what we're preparing into, we've got the Hornia, the Rhyhorn, the Chimchar, the Finian, the Ekans, the Tadbulb, the Swaddle, the Spoink, the Wiglet, the Gimmighoul chest form, and the Stomp. So last time when we played MBoss, we really got hammered by a pretty heavy trick room with the combination of slow Pawniard, the Rhyhorn was really tough to deal with. With obviously the Spoink as well, and the Chimchar on team as well. I believe they did bring the chest form of Gimmighoul and a 6th. All I remember that it wasn't Finian because I remember preparing pretty hard around Finian, but yeah, it wasn't really something that was brought into us because it does have that Storm Drain ability, allowing it to protect Rhyhorn from any water moves, even Chimchar to that respect as well. So that's kind of what we're going up against. What I am expecting to see, definitely top 4. I feel like those are really strong. I feel like top 4, the Pawniard, the Rhyhorn, the Chimchar, and the Finian, alongside the Spoink and the Gimmighoul chest form. There may be a possibility for Ekans as well, because Intimidate is quite solid into our team, and can fire off a lot of pretty nasty moves as well. So any one of those, I think if something's not brought, it's either the Ekans or the Finian. I don't see any of the lower tier Pokemon being brought. So with that in mind, this is what we've got. We'll just flip it here. This is the team. We'll run over our team and the thoughts behind some of it as well as we go into it. Because we won't be playing any of these coaches again during this season, and if we play them again in Sandbox, we would have an entirely different squad. So to start, we have Fuecoco. Fuecoco's been absolutely phenomenal all season, and I feel like it's going to do the exact same thing again. It's going to be the Eviolite Pokemon of choice, because it'll be able to be a bulky disruptor with Snarl and Will-O-Wisp, alongside Heatwave, because it's still able to put out quite a lot of damage with that max special attack and the Modest Nature as well. And Protect, because in a doubles league, Protect is just kind of incredible, and if you can afford to run it, definitely do so. It's very good just to buy a turn and keep something safe. Potentially hold a Terra as well, because Terra preservation can be pretty important in leagues like this, so always nice to have an option to see what an opponent wants to go for while not burning your Terrestrialization at the same time. Second Pokemon we got is the Sotodle, because of course we're bringing Sotodle. Sotodle has been the other pillar really of our team. These two have kind of just been always putting in the pretty big yards when they've been brought to games. We have the Assault Vest and with Thick Fat. Once again, we are pretty heavily on the physically defensive side as well, just because a lot of that offense was on the special side. We did weigh up for a long time between Superpower versus Body Press. I did end up going with the Superpower purely because I forgot to reteach it Body Press when going into the game and locking the team. So we are Superpower, which is kind of... It'll be alright. It's mainly only there to be clicked like once, ideally into Pawniard, and ideally not too much otherwise. Ideally we'd be clicking Shard, Spin, or Knockoff to deal the good damage there when necessary. Next we have Esper. I feel like Life Orb Esper is actually like low-key pretty nice into this team. It's faster than everything except the Wiglet from memory, even though we were just looking at it. So just be going to run through and just deal just big hard hits with those Life Orb, Psychics, Energy Balls, and Terra Blast Fire, obviously for the nature of that Pawniard. We're also having a better defensive profile into a few of the others. It doesn't really do much into the Spoink, but honestly, like, that's fine. I think we've got two knockoffs, two Terra Dark knockoffs on screen. Spoink hopefully shouldn't be too much of an issue. Esper will be really good if something like the Rhyhorn's potentially brought, maybe with a lack of some certain key elements as well. So we'll see about that. Which can be the same for Oshawott as well. Oshawott will be really strong against, more specifically, Rhyhorn. So with the Iron Ball, we're able to underspeed the Rhyhorn in Trick Room, and can fire off Water Pledge. What's nice about Water Pledge as opposed to any other water move, it's a weird quirk with the Pledge moves specifically. They're not redirected by Storm Drain. So if Finian and Rhyhorn are on the field at the same time, you can Water Pledge the Rhyhorn, and it will take the hit. The Storm Drain won't redirect it. It's really weird. Like, I get it. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's kind of how the quirk works with it. So we are running with that. We got the Terra Fighting Sacred Sword as well. Really helps put some more pressure on that Pawniard. And fling into the Spoink with the Iron Ball. While cutting speed, we're also able to get a big Dark move off into the Spoink as well, if necessary. So, if the heavy Trick Room mode is sort of locked in, we do have Oshawott as an option there to be brought to said game. Last two we'll go over now. We got Mienfoo. Mienfoo is just Sash, just for 3 attacks. And I've got Coaching as well. Coaching, mainly nice if we can get it paired with the Satotl. Maybe potentially with the Oshawott as well. Otherwise, probably should have been Protect or just a move of the sort like that. But I feel like we could probably afford to take the risk. We do have the Inner Focus. We are faster than their Fake Out options as well. So if we do really want to not be Fake Out with ourselves, we can fire off a Fake Out immediately as well. And yeah, Close Combat, Terra Dark knockoff, just both really strong options into the tier 1s and the tier 2s as well. So pretty good options there from Mienfoo. We'll definitely look to utilize that. Almost very likely just to be led if brought, to be honest. It's not a great Pokemon in the back line. And what I'm planning to lead it with, I think probably all of the games that we play, whether it's 2 or 3, is probably like the Snivy as well, just the Taunt and the Reflect. I've really come to like having screens on Snivy, whether it's just either the Reflect or the Light screen. They've been really nice. I've really started to appreciate more the value of screens in Sandbox, so maybe it's something that we see a bit more of on here. But we just go fast, hit as hard as possible. Didn't really do any defensive calcs with Snivy. Pretty bad on my end, considering we are, you know, using Reflect. Maybe living some big physical moves would have been a good call. But Snivy's only got base 45 special attacks, so we prioritize pushing that as much as possible. Toint for, you know, the Trick Room option there as well. I do believe there are other setup options if we go back onto the team there. I believe there is this, like, Swords Dance on both Pawniard and the Rhyhorn. Chimchar has a lot of setup options as well. Ekans can Glare and can Coil, so pretty nasty work from there. I'm pretty sure Sawaddle might be able to set up as well. It may just be Lavani, I could be mistaken though. And there's also stuff like Tadbulb, I think, can Thunder Wave. Gimmighoul can... It should be able to Nasty Plot, I think. I do believe it can Nasty Plot. So, yeah, that's something else as well. So, yeah, I think that's it in regards of just running over the team. Terra options will quickly gloss over as well. Terra, most of them are just like defensive, unless if you see a Terra Blast. Snivy kind of acts as both, just as a fire offensive Terra Blast. and Esper, just the Fire Terror Blast as well. Minfu, kind of offensive and defensive, being able to be immune to the Psychics from Spoink, while getting a buff for the knockoff. Sotodle, kind of the same, just a better defensive shield into a lot of the threats, and boosting knockoff as well. Oshawott, just purely for boosting the Parasecret Sword, is very likely not going to be something that terrestrializes. And Fuecoco for the grass, kind of the same in that regard. Generally defensive, just having a potentially better matchup into the Rhyhorn. If we don't see the Rhyhorn or a Finian Brawl, it's very likely not going to be something that terrors at all. Because I think a Finian Hydro Pump will still be able to do big damage, if not just flat one-shot it. Because Finian can be strong if it's given like a Life Orb. So we do need to just keep that in mind. But we've rambled on enough here. That is the team. We'll be going into the game, which will for you up here right after this. Yo, ooh, got chattering chief there. We have playoffs now. It's a quarterfinal up against MBoss. MBoss being the first person that gave us our loss going into during main season. So we got the rematch here. Immediately we see no Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn was a bit of a nasty Pokemon to deal with. Probably looking like there's going to be just a weaker Trick Room angle by the sounds of things. Only really got the gimme goal there, but still has a lot of the other threats like that Spoink and that Minfu. No, not the Spoink and the Pawniard in particular, which should honestly be fine. I think we'll run with the lead we were going to run with initially, just being the Minfu and the Snivy, just playing it by ear. In the back, I think Fuecoco and Sotodle are kind of just the go-to lead there. Ooh. Pretty keen to get into it. It is pretty early in the morning, so probably still a little bit chilly. We've got everything set up, but we're just going to run through it. Spoink and Pawniard being led here. We're out with the Minfu and the Snivy. Spoink, Pawniard Terra Flying, Spoink Terra Fire. Okay. So I kind of want to just get a little bit of intel out here. I'm just going to fake out the Pawniard and look at going for a taunt into the Spoink here. See if we scout any Covert Cloak or any Mental Herb coming out from there. Maybe give it a potential Scarf as well from the Pawniard. See if we catch a Terror early. Pawniard goes for a Protect. Okay, so that is still kind of fine. We do get the fake out into it. I'm gonna have it on the ready. Do we see a Mental Herb coming out here from the Spoink? No Mental Herb and no Trick Room. Okay, so we are able to deny that. Kind of nice for the time being. The question is, do I want to rip Terra Dark into this? I kinda do. Maybe just go for just as much damage as possible. Just a big Terra Dark knockoff into the Spoink, while going for a Reflect here as well. That just means Spoink can't click Psychic into Minfu, and we still just get our Sash. Still looking to call and respect the Flying Terrestrialization coming out from the Pawniard as well. Also another possibility. But I think ripping a Terra Dark here into the Minfu into this game one still feels good. I feel like this is still a fine play for us here to make. We'll see if there is one over the other side. There is not one set up over the other side, so we do get the Reflect up. That'll be nice into that Pawniard there. We're going to get a big knockoff here, so we'll find Spoink's item. That is a one-hit knockout. So that is pretty nice information to know that we can just kind of just rip and do that. That's the Eviolite user. Okay. And a Iron Head just comes out there onto that. That does a lot of damage, considering. The Ekans is out here now. I've got the Intimidate. We do actually block that, and we get the attack boost on Snivy. Doesn't really do too much in regards to Snivy, though. What I am low-key thinking about doing I'm not too sure what the plan is for Ekans and whatnot, but there is a possibility of a glare. So I kind of want to just throw off more moves into the slot. I think we're going to go for a knockoff into the Pawnyard. Just see what item that is. Go for a taunt onto the Ekans as well. Maybe stop that potential glare coming out. We are going to see the Protect come out from Pawnyard again. So protecting that piece while avoiding the use of the Terrestrialization there. We have the taunt coming out here onto the Ekans now. The knockoff is protected there from the Pawnyard. We are not able to catch that Terror. We are going to see a Gunk Shot come out from the Ekans, so that will be enough to take out Minfu. That is not a problem. We are able to bring out Fuecoco here now. Fuecoco can threaten a Will-O-Wisp onto the Pawnyard. And I think Sotoro will be fine in the back here. I do kind of want to keep Snivy alive. It's just as an emergency case if the Finian is last. Do I go for Heat Wave, or is it just a Will-O-Wisp that is the correct option here? I think the correct option here is to go for the Will-O-Wisp onto the Pawnyard. And I think the swap into Sotoro is fine there. We are basically max defense on these two. We've gone pretty heavily into the defensive investment onto a lot of our bulky guys this week. But MBoss has brought his two big special attackers as well. The Sucker Punch is there, potentially coming out on the Snivy there. The Gunk Shot for the double up, look at that, we're taking that relatively well. Unfortunate poison coming out there for sure, but really fine. Missing the Wisp, really nasty stuff there, unfortunately. Not doing us any favors at all. So total getting poison and missing the Will-O-Wisp is pretty nasty stuff. I would have preferred... That would have been preferable if neither of that happened, but I think we're just going to rip a Heat Wave and a Spinner into the Pawnyard. I think now we have to start getting a little bit more aggressive. We do leave the Iron Head, thankfully. The Ekans going for the Snarl. Unfortunately, we are still able to live it with the Sotoro there. The Assault Vest paying dividends. Flinch is very unfortunate. Heat Wave double connecting there. Pawnyard going down to its Sash. Really sucks because we don't have that Ice Shard pressure now to force a Sucker Punch play from the Pawnyard. Really annoying stuff, unfortunately. The Ekans is no longer taunted, but we do have the Snivy to come out here now. Not really sure on what the play is here. This is really, really rough. But I'm thinking quite possibly a Heat Wave there. And I'm thinking probably a Leaf Storm into the Ekans slot. Either way, I'm not really liking the position too much here. Fuecoco, that's gonna bounce off. It's really not gonna do too much. We're gonna miss another attack. Yeah, this is really unfortunate scenario here. Reflect doesn't help us live that hit. Little bit unfortunate what we're going to do. Fuecoco's kind of got his hands very much loaded here. Potentially what is fourth as well, because it could be that Gimme Gold, it could be the Chimchar, it could be the Finian. I don't think any option is really that fantastic for us. Fourth is the Gimme Gold. Gimme Gold looks like it's probably going to be the Fire Terrestrialization here. I am going to attempt to fire off a Snarl here. The Ekans is going to knock off our Eviolite there, which is a little bit rough. We do get the Snarl off. Snarl really isn't doing enough to either of those. That was a crit on the Ekans as well. We don't see a Covert Cloak on either of those two. Oh, we do see Rattled on the Gimme Gold though. So it's not the... So we'll get those speed boosts coming up. That's a pretty, honestly, a pretty way to lose game one. Missing a lot of those key moves. They're like missing the Leaf Storm onto the Ekans, definitely, because that causes us to potentially lose out a Assault Vest. No, Eviolite. And the burn miss on Pawnyard was really detrimental as well. Alongside the poison on the Gunk Shot, really rough in that regard. I still think... Oh, there's a communication error there. But we're still in team preview, and I think everything's still holding up, so I'm not too sure what's going on here. But we'll go into the game too. Potentially with same game plan preparation as the first. That still felt fine. I felt like that feels good to cover everything. Maybe not the Snivy on the lead. Maybe we can lead the... Maybe we can lead the Fuecoco with it and have, like, the Snivy in the back. The Snivy being able to get up there early reflex was, like, really good, though. Which is why I'm kind of reconsidering. I think we'll go the Satato lead. And kind of run it with that. No, I don't think we'll go with this, the total lead. I think we'll just go... It's tough because there's options for the adjustments to come out now, which can be pretty rough. But knowing that the Spoink is Eviolite, we might be able to go for something like just a knockoff and Leaf Storm, kind of potentially ignoring the Pawniard. If that's led again. Yeah, it is pretty not getting that Wisp off, because if we get that Wisp on that Pawniard, it becomes a much lower level threat. Okay, so it's a Chimchar and Gimmighoul lead here. Is Gimmighoul a Trick Room setter? I don't think it is, because Goldango can't set Trick Room. So, what I'm thinking about doing here... Chimchar is Terra Grass. I am potentially looking at the idea of going for a knockoff into the Gimmighoul. Maybe going for a Terra Fire Leaf Storm as well. Or going into Fuecoco is also an option as well. In fact, I think I am going to go into the Fuecoco. I think Snivy has a lot of value in the game. Whether it's a Terrafire, Terra Blast a little later. Gimmighoul does protect, so curious to what Chimchar might do. Chimchar might honestly just look to go for something like an Overheat into the Minfu. It could also be like a Heat Wave or something that can look at hitting both targets there. We see the Wisp coming out there. We do dodge that one. Little bit of fortune coming out on our end there. So what I'm going to have a look at doing now is potentially just having a look at swinging a potential big attack into Chimchar here. Thinking about a close combat Heat Wave. Seems pretty fine because we don't have Protect on the Minfu. And a double-in will definitely take out the Chimchar and get some good damage onto the Gimmighoul as well. And if we force Gimmighoul Terra, that is kind of nice as well, which it might be doing here, which it does do. So, low-key, not amazing Terra for us to deal with. When you have the close combat coming out now is the Chimchar. That doesn't even take Chimchar down to a potential focus Sash if it is Sash. So we'll see what Chimchar goes for. Just go for the Wisp again onto the Minfu. That is kind of fine. We will have the Heat Wave coming out here. We do double connect with that Heat Wave there. Just doing a little bit to that Gimmighoul while knocking out the Chimchar as well. Could have gone for that Snarl. The Snarl gives us gives it a rattle boost, but it's nasty plotting up now. Which isn't the most ideal situation here for us. But we do know the Eviolite is on the Spoink. Pawniard is out here now. I think the best option for us... It can't Terra. But I think it's likely to protect, but there's not really much I can do in that regard in terms of like actually stopping it protecting. But I still think I go for I think just a close combat into the Gimmighoul and potentially going once again for... No, actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go for the close combat into the Pawniard and going for a Snarl here. The Gimmighoul goes for a Protect. Does the Pawniard... The Pawniard doesn't follow suit, so this is going to be a close combat into it. This will still do quite a lot of damage. There is the Focus Sash there. We'll take note of that now, even if it is only a 2-game set. Knowing that information is on the nicer side. The Aerial Ace coming out there. Minfu going down. Not too much of an issue. I think that is fine as long as we hit this Snarl. Coming out here. Going to be hitting the Protect first. And we get that there as well. Okay, so the Pawniard does go down there. We do kind of make a trade that's fairly favorable, trading a Burnt Minfu for a Pawniard and the Chimchar. And as for the fourth to come in here, I think it is going to be Sotodle. Because what could be in the back? It could be the Ekans, the Spoink is a possibility as well. We've lost a big way to nuke that. So I think maybe Snivy comes in. Snivy can have a look at denying that Trick Room. We do have the Terrestrialization option as well to kind of play around a Terra Blast, which is definitely something that Gimmighoul can have a look at doing. So we will just straight up do that. We'll go for the Terra, Fire, and Taunt the Spoink. And I think honestly a Snarl here from the Fuecoco is fine. I believe going from this point forward, I think denying Trick Room out the gate is probably going to be priority 1. And then we can kind of just throw like Leaf Storm into it while he's unable to protect or anything like that. So we do see that coming out the Spoink may potentially run through for a little bit of offense this turn here. It does go for that. It's going to throw the move into the Fuecoco. Fuecoco able to take those hits. Go for the Snarl, just lowering the offense on both of those Pokemon there. We have confirmed that there's no Cloak on either of these two. The Gimmighoul does get a Rattled boost. This is still +1, so that Shadow Ball does take out the Fuecoco. Which is fine. Our fourth is Sotodle. We see Life Orb. Definitely should have taken note of that in Game 1. I think I may have missed that there. So that listed there for Life Orb. I would like to knock that off at some point. I think we kind of just throw double moves into the Gimmighoul here. Yeah, because Spoink only being at -1 isn't the biggest deal. The Gimmighoul is definitely the Pokemon putting pressure on things at the moment, which is kind of forcing our hand into going for some attacks into it. We should definitely live any move that Spoink wants to go for with either of these two. Sotodle should be able to take that because it's at -1 now. It's really nice. Just really kind to look at putting as much pressure as possible onto the Gimmighoul there. And hopefully we'll see where that goes. Gimmighoul is like fairly bulky as well, like it's naturally pretty fat. It doesn't take that too nicely. We get that special attack boost. The Psychic coming out here onto the Sotodle. Sotodle able to take that really well. The Knockoff coming out here. Knockoff able to take out the Gimmighoul, which is good news for us. So we're kind of just staring down the Spoink here now. Not really too much the Spoink can do. The Spoink did shake off the Taunt, but at this point we can just fire off that Leaf Storm and that Knockoff. We should be feeling pretty good. I don't think there's too much counterplay for that one. Spoink showing off that naturally high special defense. We should be able to take that. Yeah, so Sotodle doing absolute incredible work. We're going into the Game 3 now. So there wasn't an adjustment really made from us from Game 1 to Game 2. We kind of just played on lead. I just think I feel this 4 is the correct into the 6. The Chimchar lead adjustment was definitely something a little different. Maybe with that game 2, MBoss was looking at trying something a little different, a different kind of game plan. So it may potentially fall back to the game 1 game plan. But looking like there is a possibility that it might just be back to that Spoink Pawniard lead again. Which I think we can have a look at taking full advantage of again. I think it might still... it might not even require us to commit Terror, like we still might be able to hold that for that backline there. But yeah, this 4 is definitely it. This is the ride or die moment from some of our big lads. Oshawott role in this matchup really isn't too prominent there. We see the Chimchar Spoink lead. Okay, so this could quite possibly come out to be a potential fake out Trick Room is on the cards here at this current point in time. So what I am low-key thinking is probably going for, because the close combat didn't do enough. The Psychic will take us to Sash, for sure. We do have good options in the back to kind of deal with everything. So I am just thinking a fake out. Actually, no. Yeah, I think it's a fake out, and no. I think we Terra Dark knock the Spoink. We timed out. Oh no. Oh, I was going to look at swapping Snivy out. That could be really detrimental now. Because I was going to look at taunting the... I was going to look at taunting the Chimchar. Oh, that's real... We'll have to make do with it. It's really not that great. That's a potential just use of Terror completely gone. Potentially losing Snivy in the process as well. That's real bad. We do see the Wisp there. I still don't know if I needed the Dark Terrestrialization to be able to take that on. That's real nasty stuff. We definitely had that prevention on lock. Because we saw from the first game that it was just a one-shot with that Terra Dark knockoff as well. So that Leaf Storm damage really wasn't offering too much for us. That's rather nasty work, unfortunately. Oh, shit. Oh, it's real bad. So what I'm thinking now, I think we just have to keep firing off some knockoffs. I'm going to start with a knockoff on the Ekans. And I guess for the time being, just going... I think we just have to potentially go for a Reflect. I'm actually going to fire off... I'm actually going to fire off a close combat into the Chimchar and go for that Reflect, actually. I think that's probably the call I want to make. I have a feeling that Pawniard may potentially be the Pokemon that's in the back there. Yeah, really not doing like any damage with that at all. Overheat's coming out there. We'll get the knockout. Oh, man. I know that timing out is probably going to... It's put us in a really shit spot. It sucks. We potentially lose both Pokemon here. No, Snivy does end up avoiding the attack. That is quite a big deal, actually. We can go into... I think we just send a Sotottle in here now. Neither of these two is really putting out too much pressure on Sotottle. I think with Sotottle, we can just go straight for the Spinner into the Ekans. And I think we just go for a regular Terra Blast into the Chimchar. We are faster than it. And we're at +2, so that can take out the Chimchar. It does. So potential gunshot dodge may be something nice that's happened to us there, because we did see it knock out in the game 1. We'll see how much this spinner does from Sotodle into the Ekans. Ekans isn't notoriously known for his bulk, and its Intimidate has been used. It did about half, which is a little bit more on the annoying side. But we see Gimme Goal is the 4th Pokemon in here. So the call to action here may potentially be a knockoff into the Gimme Goal and a Heat Wave. The Heat Wave should be able to knock out Ekans. And we just need to knock off and offset the damage coming out from that Gimme Goal as much as possible. Before we can start throwing out Snarls, we just do really need to get some big heat wave damage off on the Ekans. The Snarl is going to mean the Fuecoco does not knock out the Ekans anymore. But there is big knockoff damage into the Gimme Goal there. The Gimme Goal Rattle does go off. But we should still... We're still faster than the Gimme Goal off that as well. Ekans taking that really well. We do get a really clutch burn on the Ekans there. That will put it into shot range. The Gimme Goal goes for plot now. Ekans, we may low-key look to just ignore. But I don't really want it to continue going for Snarls. So I will throw an Ice Shot out its way. And I will look to go for the Snarl onto the Gimme Goal just to try and offset that damage as much as possible there. We do see the Ice Shot coming out there, so it's Sotodle and Fuecoco. It's Assault Vest, Sotodle, and Eviolite Fuecoco against the Gimme Goal there. Just going to offset that. So it's got no Life Orb, and it's only at +1 special attack, but it is at +2 speed now. We are going to see the Terra Blast come out. We are Thick Fat, thankfully. We were originally Sheer Force. That still does so much damage. Is that a critical hit? It is a critical hit, man. You've got to be kidding. You've got to be joking, man. That's real nasty work. So that could potentially lose us the game kind of on the spot as well now, because there's no way that takes that knockout without it. We just have to keep going for those Snarls. It is getting faster, which is a bit annoying, but maybe our Eviolite can pull it through. Team Reflect we're off, not really too much of an issue right now. We've just got to keep landing these Snarls. At some point it will eventually be faster than us. Okay, one more Snarl will do it. One more Heat Wave will do it as well, actually. But it might be at a point where it is faster than us. We do see the Shadow Ball come out. We will take that. But we will need to take another. Snarl is the more accurate move, so it will be the move we go for here. We are still faster. Fuecoco! Fucking done it, boys! Oh my god. Holy shit. Through all of that real nasty luck in the game 3, and some pretty nasty luck in the game 1 as well. We've overcome the beast, man. MBoss has been tormenting us in both the leagues that we've played. Oh my god. I'm stoked. I am absolutely stoked. He, despite the fact that there was some nasty stuff, always played well, prepped well. Super stoked about that. GG's MBoss. We are moving to top 4. We're going to be playing Burst. That's a coach we didn't play in main season. So, yeah, we're just going to, next week, lock in and deal with Metatite.